Good evening, good evening, good evening, our party people on a Friday night hanging out with us on Sip and Chat. It's Friday, it's Friday, it's Friday. I won't go too much further because you be like, oh yeah, no, she can't sing. I'm out of here. Yeah, I am out of here, and I don't want to scare y'all away like that. But it is Friday, and we thank you guys for rocking it out with us on a Friday night. I have a orange mango concoction with a double of some situations going on up in here.
That's a heck of a description.
Listen, we can't say no names, but that's my description. I can say orange and mango, and I can say double situations. Yeah. So, Doc, how we rocking out this evening?
I'm good. It was actually a good week, and I'm just rocking out with some Riesling.
Okay, Riesling.
Nice.
I was just saying how I went to my favorite establishment in Delaware, which is known for wine, and I didn't buy one bottle of wine.
How'd that happen?
Because I was on a tequila mission.
Okay. All right. And speaking of tequila, the one that I had the other
a couple weeks ago, right?
It's black owned.
It's
good.
Right.
So yes. I know I'll buy a bottle.
Yes.
That's for more reason to add them to the shopping list.
Exactly. And they sell in New York and New Jersey. So April, you might have to pick a bottle for everybody.
All right.
Okay. I think you text that picture out, right?
I do have it.
Okay. So I have to make sure I add that to the Jersey shopping list because normally I head down to Delaware. Okay. Black owned. We got to support ours so that they can stay living and thriving. Right. Keep that dollar in our community for wealth.
Yes.
Miss April, you're with us.
I am
on vacation eve.
Yes, I am. Sort of. I realized I have a date tomorrow. My godson is having a celebration before he gets off to school. So I thought I was going to ease out a little early, but can't do that. But that's okay. I'm being held back for a good reason.
Okay.
But things are okay, and I'm ready to scoot on out of here, but I'm still going out healthy, or at least I'm still on my little healthy drink trend, and I'm taking my drinks with me so I can stay focused.
That's how you guys
that means you got a green cup.
I do have something
a different type of green cup.
It's a different type of green.
Okay. And I know your table was full.
Oh yeah.
You posted a full greenery type table of all type of veggies.
Yeah. Everything looks so nice and fresh.
Oh yeah. They and it took me about 2 days to do a whole bunch of juicing and prepping. I still ain't done, but I'm done for now.
So you need some people to come swing by before you make your departure?
No, I mean, the only thing I have left are those potatoes. I got about 15 pounds of potatoes.
You can make some vodka.
Oh, look at you. Well, you'll have to send me the recipe. You'll have to send me the recipe. I will try it.
Oh goodness! I'm thinking about home fries. She went.
I'm thinking potato salad, French fries.
I was thinking of home fries.
Yeah, home fries.
Can't what's going on in your parts of the country, town, zip code, life?
I've been on this new lifestyle change. I've been on a new lifestyle change for a decade, but it's even more in depth now. So since I can't have tomatoes anymore, it's like half everything I eat has tomatoes.
Oh goodness.
almost, and I've been hungry. But other than that, I've been drinking my alkaline water. I had some tea, I guess. Well, I did have some tea like for the first time in a couple of weeks, and I had like a fruit smoothie. I hadn't had that in a few weeks, like over a month. So I made dinner, I ate that, but I had a bowl of Lucky Charms with some gluten-free milk.
Is the tomatoes a new situation?
Yeah, because of the and the whole stomatitis, canker sore went all the way down. I'm excited about that. I can talk and I can smile and stretch my mouth fully, so that's good.
We're gonna leave that right there.
I know what else was hilarious, and I could have said this probably last week or the week before, is that we end up connecting when you were here in Philadelphia, and we went out to an establishment. I'm not trying to say, the establishment name, whatever, and you ordered a beverage that comes with cherries, and you told the person not to put cherries in it, but when they did, you was like, "Oh my God, he put cherries! I hope you eat cherries, cause you." I was like, "Yes, I do. So thank you." And I handled the cherries for you only for like a week and a half after you was like, "Oh my God, all of a sudden, I just love cherries. Like, these cherries are amazing." And I'm like, if I could have did a video at the establishment on how she was like, "I don't like cherries. Why he put cherries in?"
I like cherry flavor, like grenadine, but I didn't like cherries. So yeah, you're right. I just started liking cherries, and they're good though. Like I keep popping them like they popcorn, but yeah,
love cherries.
I do too. But Doc, if you could have seen the reaction, and he had plopped like maybe I think it was like 5 or 6 in the beverage, and it was a whole tantrum at 11 o'clock at night. It was like, okay, wait a minute, it's okay, I got you. I'll handle them. I shall handle them. Look who done popped back in the room.
Oh, maybe that's what I was gonna ask. If somebody, is there a way I can have salsa, make some salsa without tomatoes? That'd be great.
April is we probably
pineapple salsa doesn't have tomatoes, right?
Yeah,
pineapple mango.
Like jalapeno.
Mango.
Pineapple mango.
I can't have citrus fruit for a while either. I have to stay away from that as well. No citrus.
So is mangoes considered citrus?
Mangoes is not, but the pineapple is.
Okay, you can do mango.
Okay.
My daughter, a friend of hers makes mango salsa all the time, and it's really good.
Wow. So wait, you said pineapple is citrus?
It is.
Like the lemon, limes, pineapple, and oranges and stuff like that.
Interesting. I guess that'll be coming off my list soon too, huh? Okay.
But you can do mango salsa with jalapeno.
Yeah.
Look at the princess. Hi, princess. How about she know we're talking to her even though she can't hear us? Okay, so Camp, you good with checking in? What you sipping on? You said alkaline water?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you still hungry?
Yeah. I've been trying to. I went grocery shopping. I took some ground beef. You know how you do. I was thinking steak or a hamburger. I was just like, got time for that. I did the ground beef and I put it over like a basmati rice. And I want a steak, but can't really have all that with the seasoning. So I got some A1 sauce and kind of sprinkled it over and mixed it. I tried to get as close as I could.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Darrell!
What's going on?
Oh, we can hear you. How are you?
I'm well. How are you guys?
And it's not skipping.
Amen.
Not yet.
He got his radio voice on.
You have an accent wall? I like the color.
It is a pretty color.
Thank you.
It brings
no,
out
that's
the actually in your face.
That's the wall. That's not an accent wall.
Oh, we get to tour the house now because we don't want the mic to skip. This is how we start our weekly conversation with Daryl.
Mike is back.
Big Mike is back in a different space with a wonderful color wall.
It complements your skin tone.
That's what I said. Don't have his pictures in his face.
What doesn't?
You know
Oh
what?
my
This is
gosh.
the same.
Never mind.
This is,
We tried to all be nice at one time, right?
Yes.
He couldn't take it.
this is the same. When I was on the couch, the wall was the same color behind the couch as well.
Must
We
be
got
the
distracted
lighting.
with all the pillows on the couch. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
And the hair play. We
And the
was getting
hair
distracted
play,
by
and
the
the
hair
lean
play.
over,
Yeah, the
and
hair is just it's all over the place. It's crazy. I gotta get it.
you know, there was a
twisted back up.
question. There was a question around where do you get your hair done at?
Where do I get it done at?
Who does your locks?
It's a actually one girl I used to train, and she actually is a hairstylist. She does my hair. She has and she actually
Is
has
that
a
a barter
shop too.
system?
She has a shop.
And it sounds
She
like
has
it.
no, she's not. She don't play games like that. She has her own shop. I think it's called Therapy Lounge. I think.
It looks nice.
But yeah, she does it. You know, and she started doing them, and she's the person that do them at this point.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, that was a question that had kind of trickled into the room, so I just thought I would ask it.
Yeah, she does a good
I
job.
should have bet the question because somebody said that you was gonna say that you do it yourself.
No, so I a couple times I did it myself, but my arm almost fell off. It's too much twisted.
It is.
I'm good. I'd rather.
Yours looking really nice.
I paid to get it done. Thank you.
I interlock.
I think that was the compliment that also was exchanged too as well when they were asking the question. They was like, they always look so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm gonna get it.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah, Daryl got hair you can pull.
Ooh. Okay, so Sip and Chattn is off a wonderful start. Yes.
It comes out. It comes out.
Did you do the sound effect for that?
No, something probably really dropped.
Okay,
like his
so,
lip.
what you gonna say, Daryl? Because it looked like he's about to say something. Tag, you can't go nowhere because you're supposed to do the current events.
He done got up and left.
Yes, he's supposed to be doing the current events.
That's rude.
Yes. Hello, Miss Shirley. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Hello.
Ronnie, I hope you also feel better. I didn't get a chance to say that when I posted your comment. Hope you definitely feel better. So, ladies, do we have any current events? And only reason I had spoken to Daryl earlier this week around just a couple things, so he had a current event already queued up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we have to wait till he come back.
Yeah, because I don't really remember because a lot of things have been in my slots. But anything else? I mean, we got a lot of necklace. Thank you. It was made for me with my colors in mind and my butterfly.
Yeah.
Thank you. I try to glow every once in a while. Huh?
No, I said I'm back. When I go off camera, it doesn't
exactly. And I lost my picture, so I'm glad you back. And I lost my picture. When I went to do something earlier, I was like, okay, well where I'm at. Yeah, anywho. We had a lot of stuff that happened, like when we talk about relationships just in general, before we even dive into our topic tonight, am I being disrespected or am I tripping? A lot of stuff that happened with like mental health with athletes and, just society. We talked about performance and relationships like last week. I think it was last week. Yeah. We talked about like performance and relationships with like intimacy and stuff like that. And it just like kind of leads to how our society is like a performance culture, and how it just goes into just what people think that people want and need. Like they need that answer, they need that attention. But they don't care about who is impacting and who is serving. Like they just look at, I need the answer to this question like right now. And you're like, no, I need to take a minute to kind of process what I'm experiencing. And when you say that, no, I need to take a minute to process, they're like, oh, what you mean process? I need this answer so I can go write this report, or I need you to come and spin turn on me real quick, or I need like, performance, like chop it up, like I need it right now, as opposed to like kind of saying, if I know if Camp and I was in the classroom, we'd be like review, reteach, and retest. Like we would say, okay, you didn't get the skill. Okay, let me see how else I can say the same thing to you so that you can get what the method is, or the teachable moment.
Well, when you talk about the whole performance with athletes, I just think of when people decide to take a break or decide to do something for them. When they're going, they're making money and making things happen for other people. But mental health is a priority. So when you make that happen for yourself, people get out of twisted. You don't make them a lot of money and they want to keep benefiting off you. So of course it's gonna be an issue. Plus if you're black, plus if you're a woman, plus if you're young, black women don't get that black people in general, but especially
Women in general too.
women in general, but black women don't get that kind of reprieve to say, I need a break. Just like they think black women can take all the pain in the world. You're like, no, I'm in pain. Oh, but you're not hollering and screaming. But I'm trying to advocate for myself and letting you know what's going on. And you're still like, oh, no, I don't believe you. So it's just like the Eurocentric or the white world. How long we got to keep working for them?
Right.
So that's how I look at it.
And it kind of connects to something I think Doc said. I don't even remember when, but like, do we have to sacrifice in order to win? Like, do we have to sacrifice in order to show that we care about ourselves, or care about something that's important to us, or to prove to you that we care about whatever it is? Like, do I have to like sacrifice and be hurting and almost like having one limb taken off of me, like whether an athlete or a parent or in this relationship? Do I have to give of myself at 1,000,000% before you really trust that I care about you and myself? Like, why do it have to be so much sacrifice first, as opposed to you just like really honoring my voice now?
That struggle love across the board. We've been taught to that's how you receive true love. That's how you reach the pinnacle. That's how you know you've made it when you've given everything of yourself and have nothing left. But then that's not good.
Right. Yeah. So are you tripping? I mean, I know we ain't there yet, but like that would make me come back to the question, like, you must be tripping. Darrell, we was kind of talking about like athletes and the struggle and the mental health and the performance culture, but I mean, and you could definitely chime in on that, like in relationships and having to sacrifice your whole life before somebody be like, oh yeah, you do love me, after you jump off a cliff and that type of stuff. But you and I had a conversation somewhere in this week, and we came up with like a current event that we were going to talk about that had to do with a song from a million years ago. And I don't really remember the context. I just remembered that we said we were going to talk about it in the current events. So when I was about to prompt it and you walked away, I was like, oh, we got to wait until he come back. I hope he remember.
So I kind of, yeah, I looked into a little bit more. It was the Destiny Child's song, Cater to You. And it looked like people were having an issue with that song now, catering to a man and things of that nature. It seemed like it started out as a joke on Black Twitter that took off. And, I guess it went, the lyrics women were saying were kind of, I guess, catering to your man like that was was crazy or something like that. They didn't like it. Now, 20 years later, it's a problem.
They must be smoking on something.
And it's like, why 20 years later, after this song has made 1 million hits, I'm gonna just say that because I don't, whatever. Why are the words so offensive now? This song has catered to 1 million people in a variety of different places because of different lifestyles, different places, different platforms, different concerts, venues, like a bunch of things. Why do the words bother you now?
I think it's the time, man. It's the vibe. They don't want. They said women aren't supposed to cater to a man. You're not supposed to do that. How dare you?
You know what? That sounds like you're trying to dismantle relationships, not build them up. It sounds like you're trying to dismantle the connection of relationships. Not.
I think the controversy was there when it first came out. I remember people talking about it back then.
True. True. Oh, really? For the same reasons, though, like dismantling relationships. What? I'm sorry. What the voice in the background
say? She said, "What did the voice in the background say?" I said,
I don't understand the controversy either. I'm sitting here looking at the lyrics. The name of the song is "Cater to You," right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Destiny Child.
Yeah. So she goes, "Let me help you take off your shoes untie your shoestrings, take off your cufflinks. What do you want to eat, boo? Let me feed you. Let me run your bath water."
You desire.
They said, "What about them?" They said, "What about them? What you doing all that for somebody for?"
I brush your hair. I put your do-rag on a foot rub, on a man.
Right. I think it's cool if we catering to each other.
Man.
Exactly. Doc.
They said a black. Oh, now it's catered to each other. That's not the name of the song.
Hey, Neil.
I mean, I feel like you cater to each other. I think it's something. It says a lot to cater to a man. So I think I don't see this. I get what they're saying, but I feel like you should cater to your man. Why not?
Yeah.
And that's I think.
So they want us to say cater to your partner. Maybe is that what it is? They want you to use. They want to change the pronouns and say cater to your partner as opposed to cater to your man. But we weren't using pronouns back in 2019, whenever that song came out.
The song came out in 2004.
2004, we was rocking man and woman.
Well, the difference is we had in 2004. We had gender in 2004.
And
I don't think the song says cater to my man, right?
No,
it just says it does.
No.
Well, it says let me
cater to you.
To him. I'm gonna take but
I want to cater.
The lyrics are saying take his do-rag off. It ain't take hair rag off.
Right.
So the lyrics are definitely specific. definitely we know who we're catering to.
I know we in the era of Monique talking about bonnets or whatever, but are we saying that there are no women identified individuals that don't wear a do-rag? I know we cannot say that.
Right.
No. Well, you're making their point. Now, right? With maybe gender, with gender, we're like, well, we can't. Women might wear do rags too. Okay, we're not talking about you. The song was specifically made for everything. Listen, we gotta understand. I think we have to understand everything is not for everybody, right? I'm intending this song for me, and I'm deciding what I want to do. You can't now say, well, you didn't include me. Well, you weren't. Well, I wasn't talking to you. Right. So the problem with it, that's the problem I have. It's a song. They made it specific to their experience.
You're starting to break up, Daryl.
How they felt.
You're starting to break up.
This whole thing's been breaking up the whole time in my ear. It's been breaking up the whole time in my ear.
Well, that's because the microphone is too big.
The thought era, the hot girl summer era is the
problem. I just think that people are coming from a certain perspective, and everybody just want to jump on and make it about them. That's a problem for me.
So I guess when does the conversation come to looking like, I don't know why this particular song all of a sudden in 2021 becomes so important, but, and I hope this is not taking it out of context, but if we look at the song in 2004, that genre, it was important. It had value. We rocked it out in all of the different platforms. In 2021, those people in 2004 that enjoyed it are still going to enjoy it. It might not be for the 2021 audience. The same way, this is where I think it, I'm hoping I'm still in the same line. The Michael Jordan fan and the LeBron fan, they both love basketball, but they may not like either Michael Jordan. Right. They may not cross over. But they both love basketball, and they both love the stats that each of those players bring to the game overall. It's music.
And music is universal.
Right. Just like basketball.
Yeah, and some music speak to some people's value system, and some don't, it don't speak to your value system.
Right.
It spoke to mine in 04 and it still does.
The problem is, everybody want to be a thought now or enjoy a hot girl summer now, so they don't think they need no man. And they most definitely don't want to tell you how to keep your man if you have a man. They just want you to be out here manless along with them.
Yeah, they not supporting relationships. Snaps for that.
With a relationship, all relationships aren't people chasing men now, right? We have a lot more relationships look a lot different in 2021 than they did in 2004 as well.
But at the essence of a relationship, should it be gender identified, or should it just be the essence of a relationship connecting to another person because love is love?
You know what?
Well, don't talk about catering to your man then if it's not gender.
But that's my relationship. I'm talking about my relationship.
Hey, the song should say cater to them.
I mean, shit, you can just change the lyrics how you want when you singing it the way you do anyway.
Cater to that.
Exactly.
Take their do-rag off.
You said what?
You sing it how you want to sing it. It doesn't matter what the pronoun is if you relate to the value.
I just remember when songs were like, if a woman singing to a dude or singing about a dude, we would just change it to whatever it fit. If we were singing it, like, so it's the same thing. I don't. It's nothing. I don't see it.
So I didn't see the tweets or anything. So what's the issue? Is it that you shouldn't cater to your man, or that it should be more relatable to everybody? It's because that's two different things.
I think it was talking about catering to man.
Okay.
I briefly looked at it. Because there was a lot of different things. I didn't feel like reading through all of it, but it looked like the catering was
the part.
An issue to the woman.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I remember they were like, no man wants you to touch his do-rag anyway. He does it his own way. How you gonna fix his do-rag?
That's hilarious.
That depends on the man. That go back to your conversation of take a shower, don't take a shower.
Oh my gosh, I don't want it. Not that again.
Let's please not rehash that.
Please, exactly.
Don't go back there.
It goes down. It goes down. It has to go down sometimes. We don't want these boring people. I got a lot of inboxes about boring people. A lot of people agree that sometimes it goes down.
Did they say you were boring?
And showers weren't needed.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Everyone knows I'm not boring. They know I'm not boring.
How would they know? You don't say anything.
That's a
No, the quiet one doesn't say anything.
Ask him the other question.
Oh gosh.
You're not gonna ask him right now. You gonna sneak it in?
Huh?
You gonna ask him the other question, or you gonna sneak it in?
So did anybody
at the right moment?
Okay.
Did anyone on the tweet chain or whatever comment on You can cater all you want, don't mean he's gonna stay around.
Right.
That is so true.
Oh, brother, here we go.
Just fix your hair. You was planning your hair.
But that's
I just asked if anyone made that,
They probably did, Doc. They probably did.
They probably did.
It was only, listen, they were talking about catering to man. I don't know how to even, but just catering. That's all they were talking about.
Right.
I think the type of attention.
Cater is a wild thing. So what does it mean to cater? I mean, we can go there.
I mean, and the person that was singing the song catered all. If she, I don't know what she did. She might have catered all day long. It didn't help her.
So
why you go there, Camp? Why you cover your face, Camp?
Are they still together? Is the question.
Huh?
Are they still together?
No, I don't care about that part.
Are they still together?
Did the catering work at the time? It might have been a relationship that was for the season, the moment, and not the lifetime. So in that season and that moment, it worked.
I mean, if you're together for 40 years,
is there such thing as a perfect?
And 30 of them you got cheated on, is that really a good long-term relationship?
You're miserable.
If
the only thing that's
longevity has nothing to do with quality and healthy.
So my question is, are there any perfect relationships? I'm confused.
No, see now you
Now you go use the word.
Because wait a minute. You said there was you told me there was one indiscretion, and that makes a relationship bad.
No, I didn't say that. That is not what I said.
30 years, not
that
one
is not what I said.
30 years of indiscretion.
I didn't say one indiscretion.
Excuse me. Yeah, you said, what did it help Beyonce out, right, in her relationship?
It wasn't one discretion. Did you see the interview? It wasn't one discretion.
Wait a minute. Okay, so again, if there's 10 indiscretions, does that make a bad relationship?
Hell yeah.
Not necessarily.
Would you deal with 10? Hold up. Would you deal with 10 indiscretions?
Me?
So again, here you go. A relationship is based on how you handle your situations. So if you can get through it and come out on the other side, your relationship is good. So we can't put what we feel, it just may 1082 mean few. It's like, you know what? And we get through it, then we should be good. We should be good. So we can't teach somebody just because someone did something to them, their relationship is not good. It's how they deal with it. Because if they're good now, they're good. That's how a relationship is, because there's going to be problems.
I will agree with you in the instance, because your man can be treating you like the world and you didn't know until you knew. So until you knew about it and he was treating you like the world, it was all good. So what's the difference if he still treats you the same and you come out on the other side? I still think you're good. Like, girl,
I think if a relationship, what happens is you go through things and you find out how you can deal with them. And if you guys can deal with them and move on, then your relationship is good. If it still can stand.
If it doesn't bother you, that's one thing. But if it bothers you and you just dealing with it, that's different.
Not good. Right, it's different.
Well, again, I think that anytime we go through things.
Yes, that's that sacrifice.
So we're saying that something happens in a relationship, we have to fully get over everything for it to continue. I think some things we just get past, right? Because
pains.
There's nothing in that relationship where we're just going to be like, it happened, I'm over it. You may still have some lingering effects, but you learn how to move through it. But that's everything with life. That's just not in relationships, right? There's things you go through, you find ways to get past it. And if you can. Now, if you're miserable trying to deal with it, that's different, right?
That's what I just said.
To a place where you guys are still, that's what I'm saying. If you're miserable, you're right. If you're miserable, it's different. But if you're not miserable and the things happened and you got past it and now you're on the other side, pasture is greener now, and you put that behind you, that's a good relationship. I have to say, well, cheating on you 5 times before, it's a bad relationship. No, it's a bad relationship for you, or you're being not honest because in your relationship, you got your own problems that you're dealing with that you guys are getting past, so it's so different. What's up, Del Rico?
What's up, D?
Hey, Del Rico.
What's up, family? How y'all doing?
Hey, Del.
Would you walk in on?
I mean, I'm walked in on D. D was letting it loose, man.
You got your sip and chat for this conversation?
Yeah, I pulled up, man, and my man was going in.
We talking about the song "Cater to You." That's how we started, anyway.
What is that? Was that Beyonce or Destiny's Child? That song?
Yes, in 2004. But now it's a concern about the song having issues in 2000. I mean, in what is it? 2021.
21.
They said there was a problem.
Should you be catering to your people?
For some reason, a tweet thread developed about the song, right?
Wow.
What happened? I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Bruce.
The usual.
The usual.
She funny. What was the problem with catering to you in 2004? Now it's a problem in 2021.
The word man and him.
Are they gonna try to put the they and them on cater you? I hate this world. I hate this world, man.
It's gonna be catered to they.
It's gonna be catered to they.
Catered to they.
You can't change your artist's work.
Yeah, so she was singing to Jay-Z before. He's a he, a him. He's not a they.
So I gave the thing that the song was in 2004, and in 2004 it worked. It's 2021.
Well, the problem with that is too. Guess what?
In 2021, the song ain't written for y'all. Let us live in 2000. We gonna jam to it because it's our song. Just like people who don't like Michael Jordan. Right. Make your own song with the theys and thems and the whatever.
So and that's the problem I have, because it does work. It does work in 2021, and they're spreading or trying to tell people that it works for. It should work, and that's a problem.
It still works for me. That's my jam.
It works for me too. It's my jam.
Goddamn shame. Sorry, excuse me. That's retarded, man. I know.
Well, again,
I know white folks.
They have a problem with the cater part.
Plenty N-words. They said plenty N-words.
So is it the cater part or is it the man? I'm sorry, Dorico. Go ahead.
Like, because I know in songs back in the day that I used to like, that I knew the women were singing to men, I just changed the word and made it fit for me to sing to the woman.
Right.
I didn't tell them to go change the whole song up.
Losing his mind.
N-words. They said plenty N-words.
So is it the cater part or is it? Sorry.
All I know is it said, I hate
this look at that because that's what kept him entertained at my house.
So inside of the gender is also the catering part. People don't feel like you should be catering to a man. I think it's also kind of with that submission. They put like that, like not able to submit or cater to a man anyway. It's also that type of, energy that's being given off.
Well, I can guarantee you after about 6 months, she's going to be single.
Is it going to last 6 months?
More like 2.
It might not even be. I was just giving her some hope.
That's more like 2.
I was giving her some hope. Because it's bad, man. It's bad. This world is stupid, man. We need to redo this over. We need to do this over, man. Put it back in the bag and shake it back up and redo it.
Wish we could do that, right?
It might be a real mixed bag then. We put it back in the bag and do it over.
They going they and them the song though? That is terrible.
So like the other part of, and I know Doc gonna give me the look shortly.
What?
I mean, like, we're not getting to the disrespected or are we tripping part. But like the other part of this is that, I don't know, Daryl, should I bring this up? The part of like who has the choice and who doesn't have the choice?
Whole new topic this week, guys. Let's go.
Right. Okay. So like on the continuum of LGBTQTIA plus, right? It suggested LGT. Why am I? Thank you. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Happy Pride Month.
It's Juneteenth. It's Black History Month, and they try to take my month. I didn't even know it was Pride Month. I don't pay attention to that. I'm sorry. This is when Black folks were supposed to be celebrated again.
And so the suggestion that we even had a guest come on is that if there is going to be like a reassignment of some sort, is to do it at a young age, because they said then the outcome is better. Correct? Right? Come on, Doc. You gotta stay with me. I need you.
I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm listening.
However, if it is if it's a heterogeneous individual who chooses to not have children, and they say that they don't want to have children in their 20s and even again in their 30s, they're told that they need to continue to keep their reproductive system because they may change their mind, and not given the option to remove those organs because they may change their mind because life may change for them. What's the difference?
So we allowing babies to choose. That's what they saying.
Yes. Because it's better for them.
I hate this country. Yep. I'm gonna keep saying it all night because that's awful. That is retarded, man. Like,
so technically,
come on, man. I got an 8-year-old, man. He can't decide what to do with nothing. Nothing. But we're gonna give them the decision. Come on, man. This is white folks. I'm sorry. This is terrible.
Is it an ethnicity or is it a lifestyle?
It's the system.
So
they created it.
Well, so there are some rules and regulations involved, right? So if you're on board, they can make some decisions. They can make some decisions. Parents have to be involved, and some decisions, can be made earlier than some. There's no reassignment, I believe, before the age, and age is different, right? So some are 16, some are 18. I think there's any reassignment done before that, but medicine can be given earlier, contingent upon the parent at a time. Like I said, it's rules. You got to go to therapy. A lot of things that got to happen. A kid can't just say today that they want to go and change their gender or whatever the case may be. No, you'll talk to a therapist or a psychologist. You'll see different people, and they want to see over time, will you keep this type of mentality that that you will be consistent with this, and you really are about what life you're about. So it's not anything that happens overnight, but it can happen. Now, I think to what Mary was saying, what I know is that they're going to allow the reassignment of this person because they feel that they're not whatever they were born as. So they feel like not a woman. So I don't need these reproductive organs. So they're not going to make you hold on to something that is not who you are, who you say you are. So you have an opportunity to maybe get rid of them, as opposed to a woman who just says they don't want kids and they don't think they want them, but they're going to make sure you may change your mind down the road. They're going to keep that option open for you so you don't make a mistake too early in life. That's what I believe to be the difference.
But the conversation in your 20s is that you making that decision too early. Then the conversation in your 30s is that you may still have a change of heart and you making that decision too early. So apples and oranges, or oranges and oranges?
Well, I think it's still that, it's that gray area, because I think there's some women may change down the road and some may not. I can't look it up. I don't know. Well, you do have adoption, but there's nothing like having your own, right? To be honest, some people are like, having my own is a lot different than actually adopting or raising someone else. Like when it comes from you, from like a lot of times, even for me. So I know when I started working, I didn't. They were like, I was like, wow, just to do this job, and like it's gonna be different when you have your own. And it definitely did change once I had my own. Right? It's just a different. For me, it was not everybody, but for me, it definitely was a difference in seeing this is from me as opposed to something else that's close to me. Right? So I guess I wanted to look up the numbers on if there are a lot of trans people who get reassignment that now go and return back to their original form. I don't know what the numbers are on that. I don't know the number. I don't know if it's something that happens a lot. But I would like to see the numbers on that, and how many women who say they don't want to have children anymore decide to have more children later in life. Like I know a woman who had her, suicide or whatever, and because she didn't want to have any more children, got in a new situation, got married, and then they wanted to create something from that new situation. So she had to have in vitro. She artificially inseminated to have another baby. So I guess I understand. I can see it going both ways. So it's one of those areas. But it's one of them areas that men are controlling for women again. Men are making all the decisions, which is the weird thing.
Definitely. It makes me think about a young woman who I've worked with who is 28, and she learned at 24 that something happened with her reproductive system, that she's unable to ever, allegedly, medicine is saying that she's unable to ever have children, and that was devastating to her. But so it kind of has changed and altered her ability to really connect with a partner, because that was something that she looked forward to growing up. And so then there's that perspective as well. So it's like, I get it. I just think that the world has so many different narratives, and then you get to a song that that has like these words in it, and it's just like, okay, you're just gonna change the words because now it doesn't apply to a large group of people or a lifestyle that we want to honor, respect, and love, but they get to dictate change and so forth like that.
Well, even
I had to do
how
more
about the
research
lifestyle?
on it. I don't know what the rules are or the ages, but I know that I was working with someone who, adult male, gay, who said he knew when he was in the first grade. Their first assignment, what do you want to be when you grow up? He said he wanted to be a girl.
But hold on, but Doc,
wait.
How old are you in first grade, Doc? I wanted to be a
first
monster.
Grade, you're 6.
I wanted to be everything at 6 years old. I wanted to be a monster at 6 years old. My 8-year-old just told his teacher I wanted to be a villain. Like if my mom, if I'm raised by a woman and I have a high standard of my mom, I want to be my mom, even if I'm a boy.
But this person had a 2-parent household. Dad, strong father figure. Because, when the teacher reported this to the household, it was a big problem. But he said he always knew that he was in the wrong body.
I agree. So if you look at children as early as 3, like you kind of watch them, you kind of time see who they gravitate towards. Yes, I mean you can definitely see it. If you watch, children will start showing different things. This is studies that they have. These are not
right. So the little girl that wants to pick up and do the things her father do, she's supposed to say, "Now I wanted to be a boy at 3 years old." Like, to me, I'm not going to ever.
No, I'm not saying that's a. Yeah. So again, I'm not saying it's 100%, but you can start seeing certain things, or who. Remember, who you like is not something it's attracted to. Usually, it's about pheromones and things that are inside you, right? It's not usually a a conscious choice, right? You like what you like. That's kind of what it is. So these things do develop early. Especially first grade, you know who you like. You know what attracts you, right? You just naturally gravitate towards it. There's no, it is, you kind of know sometimes. And it's not about what you play with or how you act. You don't play with anything or dress a certain thing, but how you're acting could dictate what you want to be in the future. That's these things. So I think we're a bunch of chemicals that all mix together that come out to show us what we like, right? And that whatever it is, it does exhibit itself. You watch kids and see certain things sometimes.
It's not always about who you like either, because you can feel like you're in the wrong body, but still like the same sex.
Yes. Absolutely. I was about to ask you about your friend.
Or the opposite
you called him
sex.
gay. Well, you called your friend gay, but
that's how they identify.
Gay? Okay. So are they a male? Do they identify male or female?
They identify male, but would have preferred, if not for other situations, to be a girl. So that's kind of. Yes, there are so many different.
There's so many different ways that this whole conversation can really like be dictated or turn and embrace, not embrace. Like, but it's just like so tricky that in medical decisions that can be permanent either way, depending on how you identify in life, that the science can be dictated for you based on how it is that you identify, or they determine when is it good to make a better decision for you based on how it is that you identify.
And sometimes it depends. If you were born with both organs, somebody makes that decision for you.
Exactly.
Of whether you should be.
Well, yeah.
And I've had clients that have that
you can make
situation.
Yeah, intersex.
They will now allowed your personal.
The reality is that they could get it wrong.
Right.
So yes, and that means gambling is 50-50.
Wait, Del Rico was speaking.
I'm sorry, Del Rico.
No, I was so. I mean, to piggyback off Mary, because I've heard it, I've actually seen it. So now your personal choice to say I feel a certain way supersedes science and doctors. That's what's being said.
Well, remember, what we're not seeing what we're not seeing sometimes, right? So when we look at we're looking at people on a gene type level, right? So we don't know what genes are necessarily saying at times, right? So genes can exhibit different things that we don't see. So sometimes we're going off the fact that he was a boy. We don't know what's on the inside of that person. We don't. We can say you were born, like I said, someone can be intersex and have both sexes, right? This is something that we sometimes see. Sometimes you can't see that these people are intersex or what's going on in someone. We are based off of, whatever we are is based on how our concoction was made. So we assume sometimes just by the outer shell that it should be a certain way, but on the gene level down to the XY, the chromosome level, it could look a little different to some of these people.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if somebody comes into the doctors and they were born a boy, but then tell the doctor I identify as a female, their feelings supersede science.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So we don't know on a gene level what they are. Just because they present a certain way. These intersex people can be, I think they're like XYY or something like that. So if we look at people, we're not looking chromosomal what their chromosomes are saying. Right? We're going based on the site test and saying, well, since you have a penis, you should be a boy. That's what we're doing. We're already putting people in boxes when the inner.
Because hold on. Because forever, that's what we were taught, right? Forever. This is a new thing where you saying you got a penis, but you ain't no boy. This is a new thing. So if
we have intersex people.
I'm on the ambulance, D. We driving the ambulance and we go to somebody's residence, pick them up or to deal with them, and we have to transport them to the hospital. You see what it is, right? I could see what you are, right? So the medical field, we determine height, size, weight, black, white. Then you start going into blood types. But your first initial is your eye test. Your eye test. And then we go and start to deal with everything else. But the first thing that somebody says is, you address me as a mister and I'm a miss. So from the start of this,
we have again, medicine and things have been, we've achieved, and we're learning different things about different things. Like, it's always been, it checks people out. The Indians just call them two spirits, right? These things have been going on forever, but a lot of these things are hidden. A lot of these things are not talked about. We're just talking about a lot of things more today, and we're learning a lot more about things because people are coming to the forefront, and we're just learning that, guess what? But just because things may look away on the outside, we don't always know what's going on the inside. That's what I'm saying. People can feel a certain way because inside they're built different, right? You can have a car, like a Bentley, but have a Honda engine. You might know that because you're looking at the Bentley on the outside, but inside it's built differently. I believe that it can happen, right? Because what makes people like people is what's inside of us, like the concoction of whatever we put that together. That's all internal process, right? So I believe that people, if they feel a certain way, and they really feel like this is the wrong thing, it's got to be something going on to say, I'm going to go through this whole change to make this happen. So I'm not going to discredit, because I don't know on a gene level what's going on, on a chemical level what's going on. A little different chemical to make us different. So I do believe that's a way of thinking.
Yeah, of course. There's something called atrazine that they have put all over this world that we don't know what it's done to people. We've seen it, experiments done on frogs where genitals are grown, genitals are removed. So it's like we don't know what's happening. But on the inside, to be honest, all I really care about, see, the thing is, I'm a black man in this world. We are black people on this screen, and we have been treated unfairly for a long time. And there's women on this screen who have been treated unfairly for a long time and still are treated unfairly to this day. But yet we are fighting for people who are choosing to do certain things. Nobody on this screen chose to have this melanated skin. Nobody up there said I wanted to be a woman. Me and Dee didn't pick to be a man. Like, the thing about it, as a black man, there has been so much that we've taken that now we gotta be so sensitive to everybody else when nobody was sensitive to us. Like, the way y'all demeanor have changed and the way that we talk around points on this subject, like, it's because we still care and we have a concern for other people and the way they feel, which is dope, which is how it's supposed to be. But nobody ever felt that way for us. Nobody ever felt that way for three black women I see on the screen. But we're doing it. It's confusing to a black man. To be honest, it's very confusing, because I just had a session today with a young man, and he asked me about the whole people being gay thing, and he thinks his sister is gay. And so I asked him, he says, well, she was raised around nothing but boys. So I asked him, so nobody made it important to let her know how important it was to be a young lady and show her and get her around young women and put her in front of women so she could emulate that. She just seen the boys and she loved her brothers. So she emulated what she saw and what she loved. Like, that's what I see a lot as well. You around, like, so for instance, I was raised by a single black mom, but my mom made it a point to put me in front of black men, coaches, uncles, everything else. So she was trying to raise a man, not raise a man that had the inner workings of a woman. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm not a woman. I'm not a woman. And she knew that, right? So she's putting me in front of people so I can see that. So now all of our boys, they're being raised by females and they love their mom. So they start to emulate what mom is doing. So now we got a whole generation of boys who respond like women would. No, go ahead.
I hear that, right? I hear that, but the only issue with that would be that wouldn't dictate who they want to lay down with. That may dictate, in your scenario, it may dictate how they act. What, if they're acting like a woman, but it doesn't mean they would the one to lay down to man, right? Because you still are going to like how you dress and how you portray may be one thing, but how you act, what you want, but what you want to land with still is going to be whatever it is inside, right? So that's not going to be dictated. I was raised by a mom. I had women around me. I played with Cavs Pats dolls, a double dutch. I was always around the girls, but that's how I can get close to them. For me, that was a great ride to be. I wasn't playing football, none of that when I was young. Girl, they was like, you want to catch ball? And I'm with the girls over here, and I'm learning. I'm double dutching, but that didn't, and people. I remember people. Oh, you gay with the girls? Am I really gay? Am I gay with being with girls? Because this is where I need to be at. You with the hard legs. I'm over here with the soft things. So what I'm saying is that even if you're around one and you emulate who they are, it's still your attraction is different than that outward expression of how you feel a gender should be expressed, right? So your gender expression is different than what you get to lay with. So even if these boys are out here acting like race, they still are going to lay with who they want to lay with. That's the only thing I would say with that. It wouldn't change.
Well, you gave us bits and pieces of it, D. Because you go and double dutch don't mean that you're going to like boys like that. You get so like. I get what you're saying. Listen, I don't have a problem in this world. You could be whoever you want. Obviously, you could be black and say you white. This is where it's going to go. We already seen a white woman say she black. Like, we're going to have people. I'm a horse. You got to be addressed as a horse. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's going to go. But we laughing. But to me, as a black man, it's silly and sick now. It's just it's the world we live in, so we got to deal with it. But as I'm raising two young men, two black young kings in this world, and to be bombarded with the debauchery and the stuff that they are bombarded with on TVs and social medias and stuff, it's not cool. It's not cool. Growing up, I didn't see men kissing men. But my sons could go on TV and see that every station if I click through it. So in your brain, it's being pumped in you. It's being dumped in you. Little girls, when we watched every show that Lee Daniels makes, Stars, Empire, the dancing shows, like we have introduced all of this to the next generation. To the next generation. It is what it is. So as a parent, I gotta put the fence around it to protect mine. But it's just sad that we gotta do it at the rate that we have to do it, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and it's fair. So I look at there's anything that I saw on TV that will make me want to do anything different. I never seen something like two, and I'm like, I think I want to try that. That just doesn't, because that's not what I like.
But that's not, right?
But that's what they saying that music does. They saying that's what TV shows do. They saying that it's an influence of what you listen to, what you allow to be downloaded. You may say not, because you have a structure that happened within your family and the people who are around you doing a download. But there are people who allow media, YouTube videos, games, whatever, to do the parenting that's different than what you may have had around you, to do that. And so they're concerned around how it is that they protect.
But if you are not attracted to men, will seeing two men kissing make you want to kiss a man?
No, but it makes it acceptable after you see it so many times.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
After I've seen
it.
Okay,
I get that.
After movie after movie after TV show after TV show. If I've been seeing this since I was 2 years old and now I'm 22, it's acceptable.
Right.
But then I've also heard teenagers say on the other hand, that it makes them concerned of not knowing, like they have a new set of questions that they have to now ask when they are on the dating scene of, okay, are you straight? Are you bi? Are you, what side of the fence are you sure you're interested in me? I saw you being extra flirty with your girlfriend. Like, how do you truly identify in regards to us being friends?
There's nothing new under the sun, right? So before, things were hidden, so people were sneaking around a lot more. So it is more acceptable to see these things. If two men are kissing right now, people aren't bad as much as they used to, right? So what should happen is that we should just teach our kids the best way we can, right? This is, especially now, because there's so much more out there for them to see. There's so much more, way more than we saw growing up. Where you have the internet, you have in your hand a phone. They can access anything they want to access at any time, right? But we do have to deal with a lot more because we have to explain a lot of things a lot earlier. But for me, I just explain. I talk about these things and give her as much information as not just possible, and you see what happens. We can't stop anything. All we can do is try to educate and give them the correct information so they're not getting the wrong information from friends, about whatever the case may be, whatever's going on. So that I think you just teach a kid. I'm not trying to shield them, because I know that they're going to get this. They're going to learn this. It's going to come to them regardless. Like, even when I was young, we knew things. I had to learn a lot of things on my own because my mom wasn't really telling me a lot of stuff, right? So I know that education or knowledge is key. So I'm just going to educate them to what's going on, and then whatever comes back, I'll deal with at that time. You know what I mean?
So then how would you suggest a parent of a teenager in 2021 or a young person, because it could be a college student as well?
Too late.
Oh, can I finish my question? Who is identifying differently than how you would want, and you feel like you're in the field of behavioral health where they teach you all of these ways to deal with people who identify differently than how they've been born. And you deal with this all day long in your work field, but if your own teen is identifying differently, then they must be 302 because it's something. Something.
Wow. I mean, that's real extreme.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, then I don't know how you got to the problem.
Real story. Hashtag real
so
story. They right on the boulevard now at Friends Hospital.
Extreme.
Hashtag real story. They right on Friends Hospital, and the professional is in our field.
Well, again, when we say professionals, right, and just because you do something doesn't mean you really, are receiving information for yourself, right? Because if you just found out your teen when they were a teenager were identifying differently, then you did something for me. I feel maybe you weren't as good as you thought you were in the beginning. Like when I'm saying too late, you should have this conversation about things early, right? Again, my daughter has already had sex therapy at the age 5 because I know this world is crazy. I don't have all the answers. So she can learn some things.
Show up at her running mate that they say parents shouldn't be at, taking pictures.
Right.
So
anyway, that's a side conversation. I was going to comment.
So what I'm saying is that
I'm gonna leave that alone.
What I'm saying is that So at the end of the day, this person, it seems like they neglected their home because they probably were working too much, and their kid didn't have the opportunity that they gave other kids. A lot of times at work, especially in fields, you give more to other families than you do your own. You neglected your own family, and this person, now they're 15, you done missed 15 years of life where they were dealing with this, and now you want to 302 because you're not equipped or you didn't give them the attention they needed. That's poor parenting. I blame the parent on that because you weren't there for your child.
That's you're not equipped.
You're not equipped because they don't fit your narrative. They don't fit your narrative.
Yes.
And people will awful parenting. Awful parenting.
It's a dual parenting household. And once the teen has been
100.
sought, I said treatment has been sought out for the child, and it's not a diagnosable situation. Like that's not diagnosable. Like that's out of the DSM. Like that's not it. All the pictures on social media is like our family is also prayed up and everything, but all of the pictures don't have that individual in the picture.
What kind of parent are you to ever get rid of your child because of the decision they made? There's no there's no way that I'm gonna give up my child because of a decision they made. Right?
Doc, we're parents. Opinions, Doc, but you can get in Fletcher's picture, man. I got strong opinions, man. But I ain't that awful of a person, man. Nah, get out the picture, man.
So again, there's issues. It's issues in a lot of these professionals as well, and that just shows there's real issues. Like I said, I can't see me getting my daughter for any reason. I'm not because of decisions she made. That, and what you said is what they didn't like, the child come up the way that they wanted them to. There's a problem when you put expectations on things and the way you handle it this way. There's a problem. You gotta let a child blossom into who they are and try to nourish them and give them as much encouragement as possible.
And one of the parents might be lying. This is learned behavior, something passed down through these genes. One of these parents did something with the same sex that they ain't told this baby about.
It's not.
Now the baby can't even get
there's nothing. There's nothing to show that's genetic. There's no genetic marker that says it runs in the family.
Yeah, but people have said that it. I mean, not actually runs in families, but if there's one person in the family, there's usually another.
Correct.
Because
that's like saying there's one boy in the family, there's another. There's going to be a whole bunch of different people in families. Once you have more people, you have more. You have mental health in your family as well, right? You have a whole bunch of different things in families. Some things just present. This is the luck of the draw. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean there's more than one.
But we can call everything else out, but we can't call the gayness out. No, they not. Listen, we've been the butt of jokes and everything else. We cannot tiptoe around this subject. If there's so many of them, you got to have a little bit thicker skin. Because if I feel it, I'm saying it. If I see it, I'm saying it. I don't care. It's been said about me. I could be wrong, then straighten it up, and I'll fix it, and I won't pass on bad info. But when I see something, like I had a friend, his father we don't know if he was gay, but back then he was borderline. So now his son is out the closet.
What is borderline?
What does borderline mean? What is borderline?
The way he walked, certain words. Listen, Mary, there's certain words that men do never say, ever. And if you say it, my antennas go up, Doc. I'll be like,
see, here we go. So we're putting things in boxes.
No, we ain't letting you butt in on every time. No. If you say a certain thing or phrase around Fletch D, I'm gonna be like,
again, you can have your suspicions, right? You can definitely have your suspicions, but we can't determine somebody by how they talk or what they say. Some people are really just, maybe more feminine than what we consider. Well, think about it. If you go to Europe are a lot more feminine than we are, than what we consider as masculine, right? They walk a lot different places, and are just what is man is different. We have a different view of man, which is American view of men.
That about over there, D. It's okay over there.
Listen, they men knocking women down. They not be as like it's
they don't discriminate. No. They don't discriminate. Listen, there's a reason why white folks are dying out.
It's not true.
They've been doing this for a long time.
No, white people are dying out because they have a problem giving birth. They have a 0 birth rate. That's just they have a problem reproducing. That's why they're dying out. That's genetic. That's a fact. You can look that up. They're 0.
That's also the reason why they won't let a black woman who chooses to not have children at the late 20s and say that she wants to remove that part of her body, say, oh no, you might change your mind. No, black women have children. Do they all have children?
Yes.
No,
all of them?
No, of course not. But if you want to, you can.
No, absolute.
And you want them all to be a statistic so you can talk about them.
No, not
add them to your data.
We know this world. They want to control even the body of a woman, which you can't control. That's Mother Earth. You can't control that.
Either fibroids or reproduction. Either side, they want to control.
Listen, man, like Daryl said earlier in this thing, man, it's a lot of experiments going on. There's a lot of chemicals being used. It's a big mixed bag now, man. So I a long time ago, and now everybody coming out or whatever, and it just used to be a huge topic. Now it's like it don't even matter. You do what you want to do, as long as you ain't putting no hurt and harm and danger out there. If you want to wear feathers and walk down, that's on you. If you want to be the toughest guy, that's on you. But you got to understand, this is still the world. This is America, and this is the world where people have these, and they can talk about you, and they can say what they want, and they've been doing it to us forever. So all the people in the LGBTIAFM LMNOP groups, y'all better get some thick skin, man. See, D, you can get mad, D. You can get mad, but until they stop calling me the N-word, I'm going to make as many letters as I want.
So we can't.
Because on the street,
we can't.
Because D, if on the street some BS happening to you, I don't know if you gay or not. Fletcher's stopping it. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? If something's going on to you, somebody hurting you or harming you, I'm going to be the one to jump in there. I don't care if you like boys or girls, because it's about being a good person. But you're going to have a little bit thicker skin when people do say what they're going to say about you. That's all I'm saying.
So I mean, listen, whatever struggle people are going through, I respect their struggle, right? By knowing we have a struggle, I respect their struggle. So because they're gaining rights of that nature faster than us, I understand why. Because there's a lot of white men that are in control, that are living this lifestyle, making rules and regulations for the people, for them. I get it, right? I just say that, whoever we are, we're going to be the best we can be. We're going to try to help out. I'm not mad at a group for getting, we'll say, different justices before we get them. But
I am, though, D.
We're going to fight. We're going to continue to fight.
I disagree with you on that. I am. I really am. Because if you're going to say, just like the Asian people now, just like the Asian folks now, everybody seems to be getting pushed ahead of us. If which was
so is it Asian people's fault? Is it the Asian people's fault that they're getting something?
No, it's the system.
No, they asked.
I'm not
it's
mad
the
at
vice president of the United States.
I'm mad at the president that all of our people stood out there in lines for. That's who I'm mad at. I'm mad at y'all on the screen because y'all voted for Joe Biden.
Well, who else?
You could have voted for Fletch. I would have been better than him.
So see, this is where I disagree. I don't care who you voted for. We have our agenda at the top of anything, right? We're looking for the best oppressor. We're like, well, either Joe Biden or Trump. They're still going to do the same thing. They're not going to. Government is not going to uphold anything for us. So keep believing in the government that's showing us that they're not going to have our best interest at heart. They're going to lie to you and and get your vote and go in and do what they do. So we just hope they do a little something. I don't have faith in them. So I don't care if it's Joe Biden, Trump. I don't care who it was. I don't care if it was Fletch. Because we're sitting there, you got to build the House and the rep to get things done. Listen, you could fight, but you're fighting two houses. You're fighting two houses, entirely of white men who don't want to lose power. Right? About power. The president figurehead who's only around for eight years. Okay, that's cool. They say you fight, but there doesn't change, right? So we have to find a way to change things, and until we have an army to really invoke change, we're going to have a tough time changing anything because we don't have any power to change anything.
Part of the problem is that you spoke up more for LBGT people than for black folk. That's part of the problem.
So
I just listened. Hold on. Listened to you talk for an hour about the problems that they had, and then dismiss it by saying either one who you voted for is going to be the same outcome. We're the same fight. We're the same fight at D. That's our problem. You ain't that mad enough. You ain't that mad at the system.
So the conversation we were having was around LGBTQ. That's why we're talking about it. If we were talking about, just like when we started talking about our struggle in Joe Biden, then we will talk about that. I'm trying to stay on topic here. Our fight, like I said, is a fight until we get on to really go and change. It's going to be difficult for us to change because we have no control. We have no control over making laws at the time. We have nobody in there that's really pushing our interests, to be honest. So following about government, about Biden, about whoever, to me is a moot point. They've shown us for all these years that we're going to get the scraps at the end of the day. So to really fight, we need to mobilize, come together. We need our own army. So when we want some change, we have to fight for change, right?
I agree with that. Everything we do, we should have our own army. I definitely agree with that, D. But listen, people, I love y'all, man. It's been a dope show. I appreciate y'all inviting me on. I gotta go. I love y'all, though.
Yeah,
I love you. Pretty powerful convo, man. Y'all dope, man.
All right.
See you, Dell. And so the topic that we had at hand, I guess, is going to be for next week because this has healthily consumed our time.
Well, remember when you started, I said the whole new topic this week. I knew this was going to definitely be one that we could definitely get into.
Definitely. I mean, and it's open-ended in regards to like it touches on so many different angles in regards to there's no one particular right answer because everybody lives the life from different perspectives. So the right answer for me is different than the right answer for each of us, even on this panel, and each of us who are listening to this conversation. So it's like how it is that it lands differently for everybody. Mm-hmm. So, and it's just interesting, even for when, like I reached out to you, it was like, okay, how come? How come they get to have choice and others don't get to have the same, type of privilege or options or choice? And the fact that it turns down to being a political landscape around my medical decisions, despite my age of consent or anything like that, is just really, really challenging. Really, really challenging. So I hear somebody stirring some pots. What they cooking?
Not me this time.
It's not you this time. Like what they cooking. So if we were to have any closing thoughts or any closing things that we wanted to share to the topic that we did discuss,
we never got to the topic.
No, we didn't. So we're gonna have to put that on
we got a whole half hour. We got a whole half hour left.
No, we don't have a whole. The show is supposed to be for an hour. that we extend to an hour and a half, and then
sometimes
we end up
2 hours,
sometimes 2.
Okay.
But we know if we start right now, we know if we start that topic now, we're gonna be here for a whole situation. The topic was, are you being disrespected or are you tripping? We can't start that and wrap it up in no daggone half an hour.
Listen, are you tripping right now trying to get us off here early? Are you tripping trying to end it early?
I must be.
I can't believe this.
I must be.
Hijack the show this week. Hijacked it.
I mean, y'all could continue. How about that? Y'all really could continue. Doc is here.
Well, yeah. So where you got to go?
Don't worry about that. I'm grown. I got consent.
See, what you peeking over there for? What's over there? Hello.
Why you worried? I got baby over there. That's what I got.
Hello. Show yourself.
Put your fingers in the camera. This is Joe. Put your fingers in the camera.
That's a whole mess.
But we could do a preview of the topic. And
Look. Mary want to go bad. Hey, who in the room? Hello. Hey, make a noise. Cough. Do that cough. Cough.
Yeah, see, you got to go too, right?
Who got to go too? April wasn't even supposed to be here with us, and she decided to join us, and she's been quiet.
Thank you. It was a battle. I wasn't going to intervene.
Right?
Well, I think good. It's good. I think that would while the two men were talking, the women didn't try to get into it, and that's cool. That was
it was great
to let us have that, little.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Which is something that Black women don't do well, as far as letting two men talk.
And it's so crazy that these tropes that go out that become reality for some, they're just based out of people just saying it over and over again, and it's not true. And there's a lot of them out there where people believe a lot of things about us based off of what was said, and it has nothing to do with truth at all. And like I said, this was a great example where we were able to talk and have this, this nice this conversation, and everyone just sat and listened, and it was definitely dope. And he has to have a respectful. We kind of on different sides at times, but a very respectful conversation between two Black men, which they said
nice
we can't
example,
do, right?
Yes.
Everything. Yeah, but definitely, we're able to give our points with no shouting, no yelling.
Yes,
no
and you're not going to go shoot up Dell's house, and
right.
He's not looking for you over there in Cherry.
Not at all.
Y'all gonna be seen interacting on each other's posts, or the next time that the post be on the same conversation, it's gonna be all love and exchanging, situations. So it's all good.
And I had it was an interesting post on Facebook, and it was saying something like, how can we expect anybody to respect us if we respect us? And I was kind of upset by that, because I said, your post is implying that most of us are animals, when most of us are law-abiding people. Most of us follow the law. We have a little segment that is out there acting silly, but rejected as who we are. And this person was of color who wrote this.
You're right. It is a small segment, but it just seems so big because that's all you're thrown. That's all that's thrown at you. Every night on the news, this person got shot, and they were shot by this person. And you're inundated with it, and it seems larger than it really is. But I think that's by design. I think that's by design.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to bring back any or hash out any old arguments or perceptions. But see, Doc, see how you made that reference where, the more, this is all that we see. So it's going to have that influence on our thought processes, how we view each other, and which is why that person on that thread made the comment about the generalization of us as Black people. Well, it's very similar to what Del Rico was saying as far as the influences, whether it's through the music, the videos, and what we see out in the streets, the influences of how, genders and the behaviors of kids, of what kids see versus what we were designed or born to be. Those what we see, what we experience every day has an influence on our behaviors. So I see the similarities in what Del Rico was saying and what you just said. Like, it does influence our children. And the frustration part of it is that because we see it so much, or because they see it so much, it is going to have an influence on what they believe is acceptable, or what is right versus what is wrong. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
So where the flaw in that is, like I said, the most Black people are not animals. So what you're saying is that we have more Black people treat each other bad. How many people do you know that are going out and shooting people up and killing them? I don't know many, right? So and all they're pumping is that we're bad, and right. For years. Still, the majority of us do not subscribe to that. The majority of us, think about the people you know. How many people do you know are out here killing, are out here selling drugs and things of that nature? That's a small percentage of the people I know. So for the most part, people are not subscribing to what is being projected. So the same thing with, if someone, just because they're showing a lot of things with people who may be homosexual or things, that doesn't mean people are start being homosexual. That means maybe people who are homosexuals may feel comfortable to come out. Right? They may be comfortable to show who they are, but nobody, for the most part. Now, I'm not saying some people do experiment things of that nature. We're taking those people out. The majority of people, who you are is who you are. Just because you see something that's different doesn't mean you're going to want to go try that, because that's not you. That's not me. I could watch something.
I agree with that. I think that having something be acceptable is different than saying, I'm going to do it.
100%. 100.
Okay, well, we're talking about influences, and and again, Ruth said she called it exploitation, which is what they're doing. I mean, it's all in advertising. That's the whole agenda in advertising, is to present visuals, to influence our behaviors, and so sorry. Daryl, you had stated that oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Goodness. So my point is that, okay, this is what I was going to say. So that is your perception. But the perception of us as a community is not being, let me just say, I agree with you. Most of the people that I know are not running around doing bad things, shooting up people or anything like that. But that's my perception, because this is what I see. But on the outside, or the other communities, they see something different. Their perception is different of how they view us. So
you're still talking about what we're saying is that a perception and someone actually doing things are two different things. So even if you go to inner cities, most people in cities are good people. There's not a lot of people in there just shooting up each other every night. There's a small segment of people who are doing that, right? So even though it's been dated, they're saying how subscribing to that. The majority of us are not subscribing to that. So what I'm saying is that even though they have this negative image of, and other people see us way, right? Other people may see us this way, but we'll say like, but everybody's not acting a certain way because of what we're seeing. What all I'm saying is that yes, perception is real, right? So the perception of us is not good due to what's shown of us. But it doesn't make us now go out and act that way. Black people are not acting, the majority of us are acting the way that we're perceived. So most black people I know are not animals, they're not shooting, they're not killing, they're not looking to go kill somebody tonight, and that's the perception of us. So usually when people get around, they say, oh, well, you're not like them. Well, but it's portrayed. Right. So all I'm saying is that yes, your image can be determined by what you see. Right. You can assume somebody's a certain way because of the way they look, but that doesn't mean they're going to act that way. So just like if I see somebody gay on TV, I can see them, but that's not mean I'm going to act that way. I saw it. That doesn't mean like, oh, I want to do that now because I saw it. It may make me more okay with seeing it out in the public where I'm not cringing anymore. Like maybe that day it was like, oh, look at them two men. Like, oh, two men you're not even going to pay attention to. I don't think it makes more gay people by seeing gay people. I don't necessarily think it. I think that people who are gay are allowed to come out because they feel comfortable now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.
So I see both sides. I understand Del Rico's point of view, and we're talking about you're using yourself as an example as an adult. So your line of thinking and your development in thinking and the thinking process is different than a kid. So you're talking about a young kid whose mind isn't developed. So they're more easily influenced by what they see. And I think that is what I'm just trying to pull out what I think Del Rico was trying to express was that our kids at a very young age are easily influenced. You know, they haven't fully developed their and with the hormones constantly changing and still in development, you know, all of that has an influence on their how their attraction to one another, who their likes and their dislikes. So, you know, and again, I think that not just physically, our hormones influence, you know, the way we think and how we feel with one another, but the external factors, you know, our environment, you know, our family values, all of that has a play in this kid who was underdeveloped and their decision and choosing who they like and who they don't like. And I think that's where he was going, is that they're more easily influenced than we are.
I get that.
I'm sorry?
Get that. No, I was going to say I get that, but I also think of the person that I was speaking of who is in our age group, who grew up with, you know, girls and boys. Girls and boys go together. And you couldn't get him to kiss a girl. So even though that was
not even on Kiss a Girl, Get a Girl.
No.
Okay.
No,
you couldn't get him to kiss
Absolutely
a girl.
Not.
Is that what you
no.
Get a girl, kiss a girl, because he knew that he did not.
He knew what he liked.
Okay.
He knew.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to add some lightness to the conversation.
And this is what I would say, April. April, what you like is what you like, right? And I'm not talking about the people who want to experiment. I think there are people who experiment, but the majority of people, even kids are really authentic, right? Kids know certain things, so they're not going to just because somebody else is kissing a boy is not going to kiss a boy for the most part, right? You know what you like. Because like I said, I have the same, my gay friends, you know, he was like, listen, we were in the bottle and they wanted me to kiss the girl. I'm like, I want to kiss him, right? That's a feeling. It's a feeling. What you like is a feeling. It doesn't, it's not necessarily a choice when you're younger, when you don't know any better. You're just going to gravitate to who you gravitate towards based on who you are, what you like. So that's not really, like I said, there's homes where you have two maybe gay males who are raising a child, and that child doesn't come up gay. Why? Because they're not gay. Or two women with a child. That child doesn't come up liking women because of that. It's not based off of, for the most part, it's not based off of just because you were raised around or you saw it.
I have my perception on, and it's probably not even important, but whether a person is gay or not, or who they identify with, I think in some cases is biological, and then some cases I think it's influenced by other external factors.
I agree to that.
Okay. That's the only point that I want to make, pretty much, is I don't think it's all biological genetics. I do think it plays a role, but I think there are other influences there. And I want to say that as a parent, it's very frustrating, because even though I respect people who in their personal preferences and decisions, and I actually consider myself an ally, but I do, and I was raised, and I still feel and have traditional values, and this is how I raise my family, but if they made a choice, or, raise my children, but if they made a choice to be something different than what I raised them to be, then so be it. But I have to say, with my son as a 15-year-old, and him being in this generation with so many different identities, it's a challenge. It's a challenge because he's unsure, of dating and who he's going to be dating. And I think it's unfair. It's fair, but it's unfair, because now he's shouldn't be going through that struggle.
What are questioning to the date a boy or girl? Is that the struggle he's having?
No. If he likes girls, but because people are identifying with so many different identities, and then they're making the choices at this age now, there are some males and females, none that I know of that he's come in contact with, but they're allowing them to make these choices of having a sex change, or at least starting the process. And that's confusing to him, because it's like, he's in an exploration stage where he wants to date girls, and he likes girls, but now he's second guessing. He has to ask them, are you a girl or a guy? Who do you identify with?
So what's he second guessing?
That's what I was alluding to earlier.
Yeah. What was your question, Daryl?
What were you alluding to?
I was alluding to teens who are, in the date, teens and or young adults like that are in the college years, who are out here trying to explore the whole dating life, and them trying to, attach to partners or share their interests with partners, not knowing their partner's journey.
Right.
And them having a whole new set of questions that they have to now ask the individuals of whom they are connecting to, just so that they can be safe, but it makes them vulnerable.
Right. I'm gonna say what I think, Daryl, you might have said this earlier, that it's always been there. Yeah. I think that this makes it easier, because you can have the conversation now, because it's always been there.
It was the down low before. It was hidden.
No,
you didn't ask that question.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree. It has not always been there. These different identities has not always been there.
I think so, because I remember
it hasn't.
My mother in I must have been about 6 or 7 years old. So we talking about way back when, who was a trans person.
I remember my the first trans woman I met.
No. What I'm saying is
7.
the identities, and it was quoted. Some shows before there was 62 or 64 of them. Mm-hmm. Okay, so no,
because they were hiding.
Is new. We're talking about people who are pansexual. And
I think the labels might be new, but the behavior has always been.
Okay.
But I think that because there's actual labels out there, that people who once lived in secret about their desires and so forth that they have
absolutely
makes a person who don't have these secret desires caution differently, and people parent differently if they're even aware, like in a different way, because before it was just like, okay, don't sexually abuse my child, if they even cared about somebody being sexually abusive or assaultive.
Well, again, things progress. We didn't have cars, we didn't have seatbelts at one time, but we learned that through, as we got learned, seatbelts are important. I just think that we know these things have been happening. We named it to it because these things have been up there. There may not have been a lot of studies that were in the mainstream. Things are a lot more mainstream now. But like I said, these things, nothing's new. This has been going on forever. We've had cross-dressers or people who were gay, lesbians. All stuff has been going on since the beginning of time. We wanted to deny it. We wanted to push them into corner and things of that nature. Like you watch the show Pose, they talk about this, the houses and nature, because remember, these people were getting kicked out of the house, they were living on the street, they were discarded, they were not thought about. These things have been going on. Like it's just a more secret. Now it's out in front and everybody's there to talk about it. Like Doc said, it's actually better now because you can have this conversation with someone and it's almost normal. Before you didn't know anything was up until you got into the room and you found out there was a Snickers in the room with you. So you can ask that before you get to the room. Before you get to the room. Now, the other thing I was going to say, what kind of hubris do we have to say we're raising a kid a certain way? How do we think that we're going to make a child be a certain way? What you should be raising your child is be the best at whoever they are. Because once you start trying to raise them to be something, then they may not be able to come to a parent if they think that you want them to be certain. I'm not saying you, April, I'm just saying in general. Sometimes if you put too much on it and try to, because we the same way we talk about people learning things, they learn that you're not acceptable of this, they may not want to talk to you about it. So I think we should just raise a kid to be who they are and then just be there to support them. Because whatever their choice is their choice. Whether you feel it's valid or not valid, whatever you feel about it, it's still their choice. And you can't talk them out of their choice. You can support them in their choice and, maybe explain both sides of it, things of that nature. But we have to come sometimes,
so
check us and who we are and what we want.
So what's frustrating and confusing to me at times, and my son and I, we talk a lot, and again, he's into the girl, but he's fearful of having a relationship with the girl because he's not sure or he's uncomfortable with asking her, who do you identify with? And y'all said that it's okay to have these conversations now, but it really isn't okay. It isn't.
Why is it okay?
I think from the teens
wait, let me
that
finish.
I've come across.
Wait, let her finish. Yeah, Doc, let her finish.
Listen,
let her finish.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's really isn't okay because it's uncomfortable for him and for others to have this, to ask the person, who do you identify with? Isn't that intrusive?
No, because I think that is that is something that they're pushing for. Ask me my pronouns. Ask me how I identify.
Well, and I'll just jump in. You don't really have to ask that. When I come up to you, listen, hey, I think you're cute. I want to get your number. They're gonna let you know you're not for me. They're gonna well, no, if they're not for you, they're not for you. So when you go to approach the girl,
you're assuming.
You don't.
You're assuming that it's the opposite sex, but it could be someone.
Wait.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're assuming the girl wants to give you you're assuming the girl wants to give you her number. You're assuming a lot of things. You're assuming she thinks you're attractive because you're walking up to her. You're assuming a lot of things, and you're going to learn when you approach her, and them or they are going to let you know who it is. They'll let you know if they want you or not, independent of everything else. So when I walk up to you, like, hey, listen, if you're attractive, like, I ain't into you. Okay, move on. You know what I mean? It's not that big. It's not that much of a conversation. You gotta go there and say, well, what's your pronouns? And do you? No. Hey, listen, you want to go out? No, I don't. I don't like boys, or I'm bored, whatever case. You're going to learn that all when you approach that person.
But you have to be prepared for the rejection and the all that comes with that.
Well, that's dating in general.
You got to be prepared for rejection anyway.
It's like, as a parent, you have to kind of prepare them for that. And oftentimes people are not prepared for rejection, especially parents of a certain age don't prepare their children for dealing with rejection.
Rejection comes in regularly. I can walk up to her.
It's about the variables that come with it. So you have a girl who's pansexual. So she's attracted to you, or she may be attracted. What?
Pansexual. It means she likes who you are. So that's not really a big thing. She likes who you are. It has nothing to do with gender.
Okay, but maybe he's not attracted to, or maybe he doesn't want to be involved with a pansexual because the pansexual will float from one person to another, and it could be male or female.
That's not what it means. I mean, it means that, but that doesn't mean it can't be in a monogamous relationship. Just because they like who likes them, independent of gender. See, that's what we put this on this. We put a stigma on trans, homosexual, whatever case may be, and we act sexual deviants. Like, oh, they're pansexual. They still can have a monogamous relationship. She just said
suppose he just wants to date another heterosexual woman. Like, I use myself as an example. I want to date a man that's heterosexual. I don't want a pansexual. I don't want a homosexual. I don't want a gay person. I want a heterosexual person.
Okay, it seems like you have a lot of things I'm saying. So then you would have to ask that person that question if that's what you want. Like anybody, just like when I meet a woman, I may not want to have children. She may want children. There's a whole bunch of questions you're going to ask that will dictate if you want to be with this person or not. Not just it's a lot of things you want to ask that you may ask or you may want. You may be like, well, I'm celibate right now. It's a lot of things you have to deal with. It's no different.
And I'm okay with doing that. However, I mean, with the kids at this age, it becomes more of a challenge. I think it is.
I don't think it is. Even as a child, I'm gonna ask a girl to how, and then it's gonna be maybe she's not into sex, or maybe she's not into certain things. There's a whole bunch of things go into what we're looking for anyway at any level when we get the person out. It's a whole bunch of different levels, right? And that's all going to out during the relationship process. But again, if you don't want something, then you're going to say, I don't want people who smoke. So I'm like, do you smoke? Right? Okay, I don't want that. Do you like whatever? So it's this. I don't know why that question is any different than any other question. Like, we're just putting these things on. We're putting more emphasis on it than we should. The question about what you like. You either like it or don't. You ask and you ask the person what you want. If they want, cool. If they don't, they don't.
So why are we? And Doc, I know you had something. I'm sorry.
What?
You was getting ready to say something, and we asked you to let April finish, and then we done went like 5 other comments without coming back to
No,
you.
go ahead. It'll come back to me.
Okay.
She forgot.
But the comment that I wanted to just share is why are we dismissing the fact that it's a new question that's on the table for a teenager that wasn't on the table before? Like whether or not the behavior or the interest or the intrigue was present, it still wasn't an open and honest question that existed before that we as adults had to prepare for.
But before what? I mean, these teenagers know that this is what it is. When we were growing up,
but they don't have the language or the verbiage to really come back with what the response will be if somebody says X. Like they may know how to ask a question, but they don't really know what
we wouldn't have it. I think we wouldn't have it. I think they would have it. I don't think we would have it, but I think they would have it.
What you saying absolutely to, Daryl?
Well, I think that, like she's saying, these kids today we're getting information from them. First of all, we're learning a lot of things through them. So like we're not educating, we're talking about educating the kids. They're educating us for the most part about this, a lot of these things. Because a lot of these things are so fluid, it changes so much. They usually know before we know. So they have a lot more answers than we're giving them credit for. So sometimes I think we're projecting what we feel, our ignorance on them, and they may have more answers. There are some answers we won't have. As kids growing up, there are answers we didn't have. There are things that we had to deal with that we didn't have the answers with. I don't think we were even talked to about being gay or straight or any of that. They were still happening. I knew kids that were gay, but we didn't talk about it. We couldn't talk about it. That was something we didn't talk about, right? Mama, don't go to little Bobby's house. He's different. It would be that type of conversation. It was always something that was going on that with time we learned to parent differently. We learned different strategies on dealing with things. So every group had something that they didn't know what to deal with as a parent. It was new. Things evolve, right? But now we see these things.
It's like the same thing with sexual abuse. Back in the day, you just don't sit on Bobby lap. That's all. But now we tell our kids or our grandkids, this is what you need to tell us. And you teach them body safety and all those kinds of things. We didn't have the words for that.
Absolutely. So it's always things that we're always going to be something new that we have to deal with. Each generation has something new they have to deal with, or something new they have to learn how to deal with. And once you get that down, it'll be something else. So necessarily, again, kids may not have all the answers for what's going on with your child and children, and it's our children. We feel differently about it because we want to solve the world for them. Certain things we give them the knowledge we can, and hopefully they can navigate through it. We want to, be able to answer every question they have, but that's not a possibility. So we do the best we can. And like April, I see April questions. Great mom. Right? She is trying she's trying her best. She's trying to learn. That's all we can do really. And try to, help out as we can our children. Because we're not going to know everything, and things we're going to fail on, or we're not going to give the best advice. But like I said, we keep doing what we're doing, keep talking and try to educate and understand that kids are dealing with some things that we didn't deal with. Right? We didn't deal with some of these things because they're out and open more. Okay, well, let's just try to deal with them now and have it as all learn.
Why is your mic breaking up now?
All of a sudden, you must be telling lies.
I don't know. The truth. That must be telling the truth. That's talking about the man telling lies. You mean he's telling the truth?
But I agree with Del. We need a redo.
Then it's gonna really be a mixed bag.
Redo for what?
He said he's gonna put everything in a bag and just do a redo.
Shake it up. Yeah, it's true.
That's a whole.
Things are already shaking up.
Things is definitely shaking up.
They are.
Things are already shaking up. And what we do is we have to learn to move on with the times and try to figure it out instead of trying to fight and want things to be the way we want them to be, right? We have to learn to try to, ride the wave and learn as much as we can to deal with it. We fight the process, but that doesn't help.
Is that it?
Man, it is. I mean, think about it. She's like, oh, she's a lesbian. She got lesbians in her class already. Okay. Well, my question to that is, well, what does that mean? I got to see what she understands, and then she'll tell me if I am okay.
How old is your queen?
That's cool. 8.
At 8 years old, she got lesbians in her class?
Absolutely.
So what is a lesbian? Is that a cake with sprinkles on it? And unicorns coming out?
All right, we starting a whole nother conversation.
That means a girl. She said, I asked that question. It's like she's like that girls like girls. Like, what do you mean like girls? She
Okay.
gonna pop on. No, but she said that girl like girls. You know. I'm like, what's that mean? They'll kiss on each other. Okay. You know?
Okay.
It is what it is. I just like okay.
So they just can't be in that curiosity stage that most kids are around that age anyway.
And the girls dance with girls at the party.
Right.
So again, I don't speak for girls, right? I can't speak for girls, but you know, curiosity has never led to what my boy was doing. I want to know, you know, like Coco Licious was doing always. Like it was never a time I'm like, well, I want to see what time got going on. No, it was girls.
So you never had an attraction to a guy?
Absolutely not. Not one. It's certain things, again, and certain things I'm not attracted to.
I didn't say a sexual attraction, but an attraction where you'd be like, yo, you know, dude is all right. You know, he, whatever y'all say.
That's not an attraction. We're using the wrong words here. Now, I can see if I see like he's a handsome guy, like, oh, he's handsome, but it doesn't spawn anything inside of me. Nothing. I'm like, no, he's good looking. Oh, he's nice looking. No. I definitely get that. That's not I can see a man. I think is he's a handsome dude. He's an handsome guy, or that's no problem, right? I think that men who can do that, that's more of the stigma. Like they don't want to be say, oh, you gay. Like they want to use that negative, so they won't say it. But again, we know what attractive is. Again, we know it. We can see someone and say that attractive is doesn't mean it does anything, for me. Like I want to go holler at him. No, I ain't never had that experience. Only women.
What?
Okay.
And anybody, even attraction, you're only attracted. For me, it's only certain. It's only a certain type of woman. Maybe I'm attracted to. We have attractions. It's I'm attracted to certain type of women. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't like just any woman. There's I have an attraction to a certain type of woman as well.
What
we all
kind
have
of woman
things
is
we're
it?
attracted to. Mm-hmm. We're not going to do that.
Oh, okay.
He didn't fall for the bait.
What you say? You can't.
He didn't fall for the bait. He's learning. He's like, I'm not going to do that. No, be good today. I don't know how good you are.
No, thank you. I'm good with that. But there's nothing.
You always want to swipe left. I just thought I'd help you out.
No. And there's no and there's nothing that's going to change. Like nothing changes that. You feel me? There isn't anything that makes it like I can't see anything introduced that would make it change. Like I'm not really. Never mind. Go ahead.
You don't want to go down your rabbit hole?
No. Nope.
He's learning. Oh my gosh.
Nope. Nope.
This
so,
is great.
Besides that, I don't. Like I said, for the most part, I think exploration. So now I remember I think somewhere in Europe, if you're blowing in the mic, they allow children to have.
You're blowing in the mic.
Okay. All right.
See, that's what Joe was talking about.
I remember one of the classes I took where I think somewhere.
Wait a minute, I have a quick question.
Doc says she got a question.
A quick question. Are we going to
continue blowing in the mic?
Because if so, then I could do something and come back.
He about to talk about something in Europe.
I said, are we going to be here for a while? Because if so, I can run and do something and come back.
Okay, run and do it. Come back.
That's all she needed.
Oh, jeez.
She didn't let you finish the sentence.
I didn't finish. Yeah, I ain't finished. No, but I think somewhere. And I can't remember what somewhere in Europe, but they're less. They're less stuck about sex and sexuality and nature. And I was one of the classes I was in. They showed us a program where they allow children as young as 4 and 5 to have their own time to explore themselves and others.
Others?
Like, it's just normal for them.
Wow.
I remember,
you know what, that
little
makes
girl,
sense
little boy
for
went in the
Europe,
room and shut
though.
the door.
That makes sense for
Wow.
Europe.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Because they're not as uptight about sex. You see it on regular TV, and they're not like, ooh, boobies. Like, no, they're kind of like.
And when they're on holiday, like if you travel to the Caribbean, they call it holiday, we call it vacation. Like they don't believe in clothes.
Yeah, it's just normal, right? Because they're so used to that. Like we're different here in the way we, view things, and we're so uptight about everything, and that's why everything is so. Oh my God, they're doing this and doing that. Other places, yes, it is. It is really uptight. Where again, it's bringing ajna to talk to a girl because you wear. Hey, look, okay, cool. All right, never mind. You're not for me. It really shouldn't be that crazy, but we put so much on it and we're so restricted. Like I said, when we see over there regular TV, you have nude and it's nothing. Here, you see a man, two men kiss on. Oh my God, look at this! I can't believe they're showing this on ABC on prime time. Because so not what we did. We've been, we've been hiding things so much that now things are coming to light, and it's like, oh, this is happening when it's always been happening.
I have a question. This is for anyone to answer.
Okay.
Why are there male and females? Like, why do you think we were created?
I mean, we were created to definitely procreate and be together. But But again, just because someone expression is different than what we're not made to kill. We're not made to be gluttonous. We're not made to lie. A lot of things we're not made to be. So if we want to pick one thing out, okay. But at the end of the day, we're not made to do any of these things, right? So I'm saying that some people make a decision to do something different, and that's up to them. It is not for me to dictate how they should do it or if they're doing it right or wrong or whatever the case may be. So if that's what they're doing and kind of like if nobody's hurting anyone and yada, 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 okay, I'm not going to trip. I'm not going to trip or worry about your situation to the point where I'm fine, right? So, hey, you, as long as it's not hurting anybody else and you're doing it as you want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts or comments? I know I have a question, but it's totally unrelated.
Unrelated?
Go ahead, let's go.
Totally unrelated.
Well, we weren't even supposed to be on this topic, so
how did y'all get on this topic? I know.
Go ahead, Harry.
Yo, Camp, for real. Like, for real. You gotta go catch the replay. I don't even know how we got here for the past 35 minutes, like, for real. But it's been valuable conversation for sure.
That's always good. Valuable.
I think this is the first show. This is the first show that definitely what we prepared. We didn't do. It was still great information given. It was great dialogue through the topics we had. It was definitely dope.
Yeah, it was no script for this one for sure. And this question I'm about to ask really is not no script.
Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ready, Daryl?
I'm ready.
So, if the school said parents is not supposed to attend,
you know he ain't gonna be there lurking in the shadows.
Why are you lurking in the shadows distracting your daughter?
On Facebook.
Facebook and recording.
So,
I be front row seat center.
Kind of like I said, I am my daughter's biggest fan. I am the Adam of men in her life and I'm going to, she's going to hopefully based on what I show her. So I'm going to show up and show out to everything she does, right? She's going to know I'm present. I'm going to be there. And she's going to know I'm there because I'm always going to be there. So when they tell me I can't come, I'm coming. And I was like,
what was it, field day?
Well, Yes, it was. They were having a run, and so I came up, and I didn't think about it until after. I'm kind of glad she did "Hi, Dad," because I was like, dang, if somebody sees me taking this big black truck, it's not gonna look good, you know.
And you came in
a big truck at the school.
Not any of the concealed vehicles that you had. You came in a big old truck.
No.
And it was behind the tree, like
in the
really
truck.
great.
So so it was kind of I was like, ooh, this is kind of crazy. And then I had to ride by like 4 or 5 times to get the right spot, you know.
And
but like I said, for me as as a father, I want to make sure I'm very present. That's my job, to be present at everything, and let her know that, you know, no other parents were there really. So the other kids were like, oh, your dad is always here. You know, we know.
I pay my taxes. I'm going to watch my kid on school property.
I pay as much as I pay, as much as I pay for that private school.
So, but I have a question.
Say it again.
I have a question. And April, since you said you would have did the same thing, I just have a question. Huh?
I would not have.
I have a question though, from the learning nuggets that could have been possible of you not being really, really present in the way that you were. I'm gonna use the word they, since April said she would have did the same thing, and you know your children's gender is different since we've been there all night. How would you teach those other nuggets that is missing by the fact that you were present?
Say it again. I'm sorry, I didn't.
So, like, you were there. You were asked. It was, the assignment was, okay, parents, you know, let us have this moment, this field day with your children independently. But you show up.
What examples are you teaching?
Right. Thank you, Doc.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Me, I'm teaching her that to be there, always be there, right?
Or are you teaching her that you can just disobey rules because you want to?
Do what you want to do.
And codependency.
Well, again, yes. Absolutely. So, so listen, you are teaching because there are times you should break the rules, and she's always going to be able to depend on me. But I understand there's kind of a line.
That's a stupid
I don't
rule.
respect that line. I don't respect that line, right? So
we get to disobey all stupid rules.
Right. That again, one, yes.
So not all, like exactly, not all, but some, and this is one.
I get it though, because instead of me doing what you did, Daryl, my child went to the school I worked at for a couple of years. So if anything popped off, I was just there. So I get it. I just wouldn't have.
And again, remember what you're really showing too is I'm showing school that with this one, not going to play them games with, right? Because I'm here. They know I'll be up there in heartbeat in a second. So when it goes down, I'm there.
You in the building.
So
but they already know that.
They're going to. Well, again, you got to keep reminding because people have short memories. So I can pop up anywhere at any time.
So if every parent did what you did,
kids would be in a lot better situation.
You know what?
Kids would be in a lot better situation.
Let me tell you why it's a stupid rule. Because most schools are allowing kids, at least one parent, come to the event and witness from afar. And that's all he did was witness. What?
But not lurk behind a tree and in the car.
He was parked.
No, he was parked. I wasn't behind a tree. I wasn't behind a tree. I was in my car.
You was in the car, but the conversation when you was on live, I was just sitting there watching. I was like, "Oh, this is not bad," but it could seem a little creepy. But I get it why you were there.
Yeah, I do get that.
I get it why you were there.
I don't agree. I agree that other parents weren't there. That's what I feel. I feel if the other parents didn't show up for their kids.
I get it.
How dare they not show up? How dare they not show up for their kids?
They were following the instructions of the learning nuggets to be provided for their children.
Follow the rules of the school. How dare they?
He said they don't apply, basically.
So listen, did they follow the rules of the school, or just use the rules not for their children?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The school said, and they followed it. Doesn't matter why they follow.
You know how us black folks are.
Cool. So when the school says, when school says your kid eats last and all the white kids eat first, is it okay?
Come on, now
I was thinking about
you. Aren't you the one that always tells us to watch these extremes?
No, but
the exception comes when we're talking about the queen princess.
Real life. I feel like it's real life. I don't feel like that's extreme. That's why my child would
I seen it on Facebook. I saw it on Facebook where it's 2 tables and all the white kids have food and food.
Black kids ate last, right, girl?
Oh, you know what?
And they said this is how they do it.
Black kid to an all-white school. That's what you do.
No, not at all.
Because you got privilege.
No, stop.
Because you got privilege.
My sister, my daughter goes to all-white school, but that's why I'm present, because they won't do that to her, because I'm on the way. If you show up,
you already
they
at the
do it.
building.
If they're afraid of
you already at the building.
Listen, I'm here. And my daughter has a phone, so she can call me at all times. And guess what? How did you know she called me? Well, you know she's not supposed to have a phone. She's have a phone because of this. Because I'm here now because she needed a phone.
If that's an issue and you gotta worry about the treatment of your kids, you need to go send her to a different school.
It's potluck.
It is potluck conversation today.
Listen.
Well,
it's all over the place, Neil.
And maybe we need to do that once ever so often.
So listen, when I went to high school, I had mad issues, right? But I never really talked to my mom about them too much. I had a lot of these issues by myself. I remember the principal asking me, because my friends came up, and he's like, "Don't have your posse come up here." Huh? My posse? What?
You probably had.
You know what I mean? Now, what are you talking about, my friends? So I know a lot of things because I went to a white high school that I never involved my mom in. So I had to deal with these things myself. And I think if I was more empowered, I would deal with them. So hence, when the teacher grabs my daughter, she tells her, "Hey, listen, you're not supposed to put your hands on kids." And the teacher says, "No, for no reason. You're not supposed to do it." Right? And then she knows she can say what she has to say, and she leaves it alone. And then she comes, tells me, and I deal with it. But she is in the point, like I told the teacher, she's going to advocate for herself every time. She knows she can. And she knows you're wrong. So you don't touch her. So this is what she knows. She knows she has my support if she's right. Now, I told her, if you're wrong, you're wrong. We'll deal with that. But if you're right, you're right. And you can always advocate for yourself. And I'm going to come up and advocate for you as well. You know what I mean? So you don't get too much, because I don't never want you going back and forth with the teacher.
I don't want you arguing. You're allowed to say it. Change the environment.
Well, in terms of
my mom put me, my brother and I in an all-white school when we were in elementary, and it was 3 black kids, and we quickly saw the difference, and my mom took us out because we reported back.
Well,
I think sometimes you have to change the environment. You don't just say, "Oh, stick it out," while your kid is being discriminated against on a regular basis.
I see what you're saying, Doc. But
so I think
I shouldn't take my kid out if they deserve to be there just like everybody else. I don't believe in that either. I see what you're saying. I agree with you. But at the same time, somebody got to be a pioneer. Somebody got to go in there and be like, regardless of I'm white and black, I'm here to be here just like you. Because my child went to high school.
And I'm not talking about just like this. It was students, teachers.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying, because my child went to a white school and boy did something to him. He hit him in the face. Don't touch him. If you didn't touch him, he wouldn't have whooped your ass. So therefore, he's protecting his personal space. So everybody think, "Oh, his hair, I can touch his hair." No, you can't touch his hair. Oh, he's cool.
Absolutely. Listen, Camp is right. For me, I feel like she's going to learn to deal with these things because this is going to help her in life, right? She's going to deal. There's nothing that's not going to change. She's going to deal with issues. So again, she had a problem with a little girl, and she punched a little girl in the face and threw her on the ground because she knows. I taught her how to fight. Yep. She knows everything. And then the teacher told her, "Well, you're not supposed to hit back." And she told her, "I'll tell my dad." So I went up there and let him know. Anytime somebody's going to hit her, she's going to hit him back every time.
Yep.
No, she's going to hit him back. Now we understand that if she gets in trouble for hitting another kid, I get it. We'll accept that consequence. My daughter knows we'll accept the consequence. But the person going there with a black eye, nobody's just going to beat on her, right? That's not going to happen. And I let teachers know that this is how I raised her. Now, she's out there bullying people. That's different. But I said, if you're not watching her, if you're not protecting her, and she protects herself, she's going to do it. And I'm okay with her doing it. And I fight kids and teachers too.
Those are the same conversations my mom had with the school.
No, I just don't think. I just don't believe in. If I feel like I belong in a place, why do I have to leave? Your ass can leave. Why do I
get that, but when you're fighting every single day,
that's different. But not every day.
You will also be fighting in the African focus or African centered learning environments as well, because I know I met with multiple situations where parents was fighting and they really shouldn't have been fighting. Like it shouldn't have been a situation where they had to fight for the education of their child because their child deserved to be in that environment. And yes, it was a school that was designed for melanated children.
Yeah, I get that too.
My daughter goes to a Christian school.
And then I went to the blue paint school and the blue paint school. Let's not even go there.
So my daughter goes to a Christian school. It's okay. I'll get it out one of these times. My daughter goes to a Christian school, and I remember the teacher was saying something about Jesus, and my daughter was telling her how Jesus is black, and she told her Jesus wasn't black. She said Jesus is no color. I said, okay. So I said, why did they say the Bible? So my daughter asked her, why did she say it in the Bible? And then she got sent to the principal because they said she was being smart. So then days like when my daughter tells me these things, I live to go to the school, educate these people on things. And they're better with me coming now. Like they know when I'm coming and they're really nice and they treat my daughter really well now. But I think because I'm present. I'm present and I constantly present. And so things have been a lot better for her now. She doesn't have as many issues as she did in the beginning, because I think they said, oh, your daughter's angry. Oh, are we using tropes? At 10 years old, she's angry because the little boy who has issues in your class, he used to mess with her and she told him to stop 3 times. You didn't do anything. And she got frustrated. I said, it sounds like that little boy who has problems, the one that's crawling under the table right now, him, stop sitting him in front of my daughter. Sit him in front of somebody else.
So when
I think it's a lot of things that factor in because my daughter went to an all-white school and she flourished. She met her best friends there and she didn't have any problems.
Yeah, it's just different depending on your child, I think. Also, when they start using those the black woman, I just be like, oh, I feel like you're holding my child hostage. This is a hostile situation. When you start using those keywords, they don't like those keywords because that means
they don't.
I'm pulling out paperwork. I'm recording everything. I'm writing down everything, every meeting, every dot. You just don't want to mess with me. So when we had to sit down for this meeting with my husband and myself and the dean or whoever, I was just like, He was like, don't say nothing. They said, oh, Mrs. Kim, you need to talk to him. Because I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself. So you might want to talk to him. But I would say after that, it was understood. This better not happen again, or I will go with the paperwork. And I will say, and I had a basis for discrimination. Y'all call yourself being diverse. You call yourself here for all. We're all the same. Well, my child will be treated as such. And little Johnny touches him again. I told her it won't be a meeting. So she was like, oh, we understand. So I said, don't call me. Call my husband. Because if you call me, you already know where it's going. We never had a problem with it.
When I go up there, I always go very calm. Again, I just, I speak to them like, listen, because I don't want to give them anything to say anything about, right? Because I want to be the angry black man coming in here. No, that's not what I'm doing. I can tell you exactly what I need to tell you, and not no raising voice or anything, but just letting you know what what it is. I'm not being by the police anyway.
I agree with Ruth. I think we should have like a real full discussion.
That'd be a great conversation.
And we really should, because sometimes it's like you need to know what it is that they hope that you as a parent don't know, because that's what they prepare the meeting around what parents don't know. And coming in there is certain words that you shouldn't use right away, because you don't want them to know what about the blueprint of your rights as a parent advocating for your child that you're aware of, because then it'll shift how it is that they prepare, because it's so oftentimes that it could be meeting behind meeting behind meeting, that the prep from the school team, and unfortunately I've been on these school teams and some of the teams with camp, that the prep looks different. If the parent is a parent that advocates, then it's like, okay, for this parent, we know we going in here with the A script because they may lawyer up. But then we come to the second parent and we like, well, this parent has missed XYZ number of meetings and they didn't submit this documentation for the psychologist, and they refuse this, that, and the other, and they're not usually willing to accommodate, like all of these negative narratives around the parent, and then that just kind of shapes how it is that they want to direct the meeting. And I'm just like, okay, no.
Mary, but that was a problem because when I was there, well, I've been a lot of places. They don't.
I mean, I have too. I'm not just speaking of just where we were, but I'm just,
I was just saying they don't like the dichotomy when you try to advocate, you try to help the parent and advocate for the child, but still keep your job.
Right. Which is a challenge.
It's a challenge, but
I've been escorted out of buildings because I want to advocate on all three sides, and they told me, "Oh yeah, you're not a good person to work for the school because you wanna advocate on all sides." Or how did you get this parent into the building? Right. It's called engagement.
And I just think after that, I don't feel like it's sabotage, because I would rather educate a parent than do their child the injustice, whether I'm the teacher or on the school team or not. So that's where it's been, like Ruth said, it was a double-edged sword or triple-edged, for that matter.
Right.
They don't like
the school year was almost over. I'm sorry. I'll never forget, the school year was almost over. It was like April school year. Like it was end of April. So the school year had like a month left. But because more than the caseload that I had knew who I was in the building, was more like likely to come to where my team's office was to receive support. Principal didn't like that. The data I told them showed them where they were lying in their data to try to show their stats to be more. I wasn't trying to show their colors, but they was messing up my data. So they was lying. And showing them that, they was like, oh, we gotta get her out the building. And the agency in which I work for was like, okay, but we at the end of the school year, like it don't. They was like, no, she gotta go. Oh, because I'm showing you that y'all lying and that y'all kicking out the community that you saying that you serving, but you really not serving. You serving yourself. You put this kid in our program for a day just to say that you documented, to say that you put them in the program so that you can expel them the next day. You lying.
All lies.
All lies. But the only way you can expel them is to say that you put them in the behavioral health program. He wasn't even in the program 2 hours.
I mean, I got fired because I wouldn't sign a documentation I didn't write.
Child. So Ruth, thank you so much for that suggestion. We will definitely I'm gonna just say we're gonna definitely have a conversation in the near future. I don't know when, but we will definitely have a conversation because Doc is giving a thumbs up and everybody else is giving a thumbs up too.
Just why didn't get thumbs up? Just keep listening. It can pop up at any time. the title I'm at what we're talking about.
Like,
so
when we're supposed to be talking about something else, it could pop up.
Yeah, hey,
but if you want to be a
part
of it, you know, you gotta let us know. We might have to text you the code to just pop up on the conversation.
Yes.
Because things are popping up now. We're not even getting the topic.
Yeah, I think
we are getting the topic.
I think Neil would have some insights on this topic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Was she a teacher or no?
Yes, because she said she has a whole bunch of years as an educator and she could watch your child safely, and you said no.
No. I remember that.
Yes. You was like, you don't trust educators.
Wait, I said no?
Yeah, you was like, I don't trust educators.
No. You said no.
No.
You did say that.
I don't trust. No, I don't trust educators. But I don't think about it, so that care what you do.
Well, you was at a friend's school.
Oh, wow, you was right up the street.
Okay. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, my son went to a friend's school.
Mine did too. I love friends.
So definitely she will have some
conversations
insight
that Ruth and I can have. My.
Yes, ma'am.
You work Ruth, Mary?
I'm sorry, what happened?
You worked with her?
No, I haven't, that I know of anyway. It's possible that I could have been a consultant in a school and, you know, just didn't cross paths with her, but I don't know.
The education.
I know that I worked with Camp because Camp did some things, and you know we was on teams and stuff like that.
Honest, maybe too honest.
Right.
I'm just straight to the point. Like, no.
They was like, Mary, can you go get Camp? Or,
you troublemaker. Right. She was a troublemaker.
No, I just don't do the BS. I can sniff it.
No, but in their eyes, you're the troublemaker.
Oh, okay.
They was like, Mary, go get her. You know how to talk to people.
Well, anytime you go against the grain, you're a troublemaker, and that's usually when you start telling the truth or advocating. That's when you become a problem. When you don't go on get along, that's when you become a problem.
Well, they love me in the beginning because I can do a lot, but then once they get
her credentials is banging.
Yeah, when I hold them to the fire too, they be like, "Oh no!" I told people, I said, before you hire me, let me tell you, you may not want to. You may like me now, but you ain't gonna like me later. So I'm gonna tell you now, but.
You tell them after they say, "Okay, you're hired."
No. I tell them just beforehand because I need people to know because I don't change.
Are we in the green room?
We are not because you said it's only an hour and a half. Why am I trying to get off? This is why.
But no, I let them know.
April started talking because she thought we were in the green room. She's about to let it all out.
Who, me?
That was Coco.
Yes, you.
No, I wasn't gonna let it out. I see the live up there.
Oh, that was Coco Licious.
That was It's Coco Licious reason why we still here.
All right, well we can.
I'm bring back, y'all.
We can wrap it up now.
We can wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard
we
Coco
put another hour on this thing.
Listen. I was trying.
She said, "Wrap it up like her hair."
To come in peace.
Yeah, an hour ago you tried. Hey, what? Hey, who wears a bonnet outside?
Who what?
Look, I started to come on here with the bonnet. Just
yeah. Who? Is the bonnet really that much of an issue?
Oh,
is it that much of an issue?
That's another conversation.
Yes, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. The closest that a bonnet can ever come outside is taking the trash, and that's even a question.
Well,
right.
Yeah, I just do this.
Let's take it back to the room.
Ruth, much love to you too. Thank you for enjoying the potluck conversation.
I said that before.
What?
Right. She said all the combos, all 10 of them.
I like the idea of being a potluck. So the next time that we say potluck, y'all just know, come prepared. We're gonna be doing a round robin. Hugs and love. If you caught us midway through the conversation, definitely catch us on the replay in the group Relationship Flow and or on YouTube. And until next time, which is next Friday at 8:00, we catch you on the flip side. And if you're not in the group, Daryl, what you say?
Get in the group.
Because it goes down in the group. Miss April, we hope you have a very safe and enjoyable vacation.
Yes, have fun.
Yes,
Have fun. Yes.
Pictures.
You didn't get to
have fun.
Yes.
All right, y'all be safe. Be well.
A lot of pictures.
Thank you. See ya.
See ya.